That's the thing I've always planned. I've always in the salon business. I know I have a personality. Either people like me a lot or they hate me a lot. So I know I have that personality. It's one or the other. There's really no in between. Like, oh, he's an all right guy. They're like, nah, man, Bradley's a cool dude. Or they're like, he is an asshole. It's one of the two. So I've always planned on, you know what, if my group decides to walk out on me and I'm in there empty, can I still survive? And when I opened this business, that was my game plan. And then when this happened, and fortunately I get along with all the ones in there. Great. Awesome. Amazing. They're the best group I've ever been around. But fortunately, when this happened, and the rent time came up for them to pay rent, I was like, if we can put together $50 a piece to pay the month of what month was it? March, April, the month of April to get to May 1st, we're good. Just give me $50 a piece. We'll pay the electricity. We'll pay this because, fortunately, I've been smart with my money and. I want to help out as much as I can, but I don't want to eat the whole thing myself.
Yeah.
But if you chip in a little bit, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
awesome.
Just come back. Let's get back going. And once we get back going, we'll figure the rest of it out as we go. We'll get back on track pretty quickly.
Yep, I agree.
Like I said, within 3 days, we're already like, okay, we're back on.
Yeah.
We're back on.
Back.
We're back. We're
That's
back
awesome.
in action, baby.
That's awesome. I know you guys are going to be busy for a while, too.
Oh, it's like the holidays, man, because when people try to call in and get things before Christmas and New Year's and stuff, we're busy December 1 all the way through up till December 24th, like nonstop. It's already got the signs of that plus.
Wow.
I've had, and even I think the fact that people haven't had the opportunity to get their hair styled, I've had people I hadn't heard for in a long time just because they can't get it done or like, I want it done. I was like, I ain't heard from you in forever, and now you want your. I was like, I got to take care of my regular everyday person first. I'll get you when I can get you, but I hear you loud and clear.
That's funny.
So and I think that's the whole thing with us. Just the whole learning experience of, the losses we have taken in businesses and the L's you take prepares you for stuff. And I look back on stuff that happened to me with a former salon I was at in like 2010, and like my mom passed away that year, and I went through a lot of, I was business partners and we butted heads pretty hard. And in 2010, I was like straight up John Rambo, ready to go crazy. But I look back at that now, and it's like how much good that did me in the long run of just being prepared for all sorts of different situations.
Oh yeah.
Being protected by lawyers, being protected by this, and even with this, somebody was like, "Well, if you go cut hair and this and that, your state board's gonna come find you." I said, "I got a lawyer. They can talk. They can talk to the lawyer. Because their state board's not gonna come in and shut me down if I got a lawyer.
Right.
And if they need to do something and they're gonna keep me from making a living, I'll let my lawyer decide that and handle that."
Yeah.
And I look back at that situation in 2010 where it was just like, I was in such a bad place in my life that I was like, all that came out to be good in the long run because it helped me in so many other aspects of it.
Oh yeah.
We learn. Yeah.
100%. And, I still see them in public and I'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" And they still just kind of look at me weird and like, all right,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't want to. At 40, I don't want that type of beef anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Where at 20, I was ready to go at it. At 40, I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to. If somebody's giving me issues and giving me heat on social media or anything like that, I'm like, man, go on somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got kids. I don't want to worry about this.
Yeah, you got real issues to worry about.
Yeah.
Right.
I've looked back at my past though. There were people, this guy David that I was partners with, where I go back and look and I think part of our challenge between us, I was young, I was a hustler, I was out, I was grinding, and he was an older hustler. Like this guy, I got to give him a lot of credit. He was successful. He had done a lot of things. He had failed. He had, we were from two totally different time periods. We communicated differently. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of our issues arose from communication challenges, right?
Yeah.
And but what's funny is, and we had I'll say a negative experience at the end that went on for a while. But I'll tell you, there's some things as you get a little older, you go, wait a second, I've learned things from him. There's actually things that
maybe he was right. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the things he did are things that I've taken on. Actually, I really respect some of the things he did. And this is a guy that we clashed and people probably wouldn't expect me to say this, but there are some things that I really respected about what he did. Like, if he had something to say to you and he couldn't get you on the phone, he would hop in his truck and drive from Tennessee and be at your house. Like,
that's good, though. That's
I
solid.
really like
Be
that.
straight up.
Yeah, like, hey, man, I want to chat
is.
with you about this. I'm like, you know what? I really respect that.
I love that.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things that I go, today I'm more equipped
To handle that situation.
and to be successful and prosper in that situation. And I hope, like what you're saying, I hope as I progress, I'm more equipped to handle all these situations. I think that's the difference in people that are successful or not. It's one of the differences is that they what's the word? They're growing, right?
Yeah.
They're learning from their environment and things that challenge us.
Adapting.
Yeah, they're adapting. There you go.
They're like, oh man, I see some of the people that's still in the same situation. They're like, oh man, you've changed. I was like, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what do you want me to do?
I mean, literally every 7 years you're a new person. Yeah.
I'm completely different. I got the minute and kids helped a lot. I mean, kids definitely helped to get my head around what's important, what's not. But it's the same thing with the situation that salon I went through in 2010. I had, I stayed there I was there 10 years from 2000 to 2010. I had 9.5 good years there, where I learned a lot about hair, styling, and all that. I can't just totally bash the place the way, things left and the situation of how it ended. They were looking out for what's best for their business, and at that time I was 30-something, and I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care. But then when I did pay attention, I was like, oh, I can't believe y'all would do that to me. I've been loyal, and that was just me being stupid. Now I'd go in there and say, what's the numbers? What do they look like? What account's it going in? Where's it going?
Yep.
Let's figure this out. We're going to be 100% transparent
100%.
on everything we're talking about. And I wasn't. I just was in there doing hair like a stupid, young guy, just happy to be doing hair and have owner on my title. I didn't care. But now I care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to watch the numbers, man.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
And that was my fault. That was my stupidity. And then when I decided to watch, my accountant went in there and was like, these things. I hired my own accountant to look at it, and it was like, okay, this is getting ready to go sour real quick. And I went in there, and like I said, my mom was sick with cancer. And I went in the office just like,
Unloaded.
I unloaded. And then, at the end, when we decided to part ways, I was like, listen, okay, I'm going to stay calm today. So give me my names, give me my numbers, give me the money I invested, and I will walk out of here. You won't ever hear from me again. And they decided not to do it that way. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So that's where we really started.
But you have to let those things go, though.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. And the sad thing about it is I carried that bag of rocks on my shoulder, right heavy on my shoulder for like a year until I was able to kind of move on.
Yeah.
And that was more negatively affecting me than it ever was them, because they were looking at it as, we're going to keep all his clients, we're going to keep this. They were looking at it from a business situation.
Yeah.
And I get it. I wouldn't personally operate that way.
No.
If somebody was trying to leave, I'd give the name and numbers and the money and say, okay, bye. This isn't working out.
Yeah, 100%.
And it didn't, they decided not to do that. But
You got to weigh your battles. It's
That's
just not worth it. Where do you draw the line in the sand? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't want to be with you on your team, the best thing you can do is a good business decision for your business is to let them go.
Totally.
Yeah, and doing is sometimes, we've got a partner that is more like I was 10 years ago, where he's still willing to fight every fight.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing dude, but he's willing to fight every fight, right? And he'll tell you that. But that brings a lot of stress too. And him and I talk about that. You've talked about
man.
with him. Yeah, it can bring a lot of extra on you. And sometimes I catch myself doing that. And I go, wait a second, what am I doing? It doesn't matter at this point. This is where we are.
Yeah.
What's the path forward so we can get past this? And I don't want to carry it like you're saying. I don't.
That's that's heavy too, man.
Yeah, I got 3 kids. I got a wife. I need to provide.
That's where I want my arguments to be at.
Yeah, man.
Because you gotta live with those people.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You gotta. Yeah. I got to live with my wife. I have to live with my kids. I don't have to be around this person.
That's right.
That I've always thought that was like.
So why would you trap them in a business?
Yeah, I was like, I don't
attempt to.
I don't want to deal with if there's a stylist in my salon that's not happy. leave.
Yeah.
Pack up, roll.
That's
There you
right.
go.
I'll be all right.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've said that before, and it's like, you know, it seems like go to a place that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not happy here, go to a place that's going to make you happy.
Some people are just not happy though.
They're just unhappy people.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I've always found it easy to let things go and forgive people.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I just don't have the bandwidth or the time to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't mind problems because you know when you have problems, it means you're doing stuff. You've got things you have to figure out, and
Yep.
and stress is a good thing. Like I think stress, if you look at it from a positive perspective, stress motivates you. You know, it gives you that push that you need.
Yeah.
But negative stress is not good. It's
Horrible.
anxiety. It can make you depressed, and why would I want to hang on to that? You know what I mean? Like if I have a falling out with someone over business, and I've had them, you know, someone does me wrong or something, it's done. You know, it's in the past. It doesn't even exist anymore. It's not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
And why? And if it's done, it's done. Like don't hang on to it. Just let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and let them go. Forgive them. You know, they're just people. You
Yeah.
know, and a lot of times people do weird things because they're scared. Maybe it's fear or they can't handle the stress, the pressure. I mean, business is stressful.
Yeah.
You know, and being an entrepreneur is stressful because all the weight falls on you. Like you don't have someone else that's carrying your burden. You're carrying the burden.
100%.
And some people just can't handle it. I've had people go into business with me and some of my partners, and Daniel's had the same experience. They just get overwhelmed, and you can see it, and you're like, "Oh shit, this person's they're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
they can't deal with
Yeah,
this."
yeah.
And they'll go away. And sometimes they leave you with a liability. You know.
Well, that's the thing too, and you know, as a business person, you're always going to be the bad guy. I mean, no matter what, if you're the one, like if you own the place, no matter what, you're going to be the bad guy,
Right.
and somebody's going to always think that you did them wrong or whatever. And I've dealt with that in several situations where it's like, you know what, think whatever you want to, but like this is the way I need to operate, and you know, I consider it like Justin Timberlake and NSYNC. Sooner or later, I'm going out of my. Justin Timberlake's got to leave NSYNC behind and do what he's got to do, and what his vision is. Now, if you want to come with me,
Right.
and you want to roll with me, I'll do everything. I'll take my shirt off my back, for you to get to where you got to get to. But like, don't be against me during this because I see it.
Yeah.
I know how you are, and I know what you're doing right now, and I don't think it's cool.
But you can't make everybody happy either.
Yeah.
Some people are just not happy people.
Yeah, and I get it too, because there's several moments in my life where I'm not a happy person. I mean, I you know, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not Mr. Positive up here. I'm not. I'm always a realist at the end of the day. And like my brother's the happiest. He never has a bad day. And I look at him, I'm like, dude, like how do you do that? Some days I just wake up with a dark cloud over my head.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just try to move on.
Try and get through it.
Whatever. But I mean, it's like you said, you got to forgive people at the end of the day. And like, I don't have the time or the effort or the energy to even, like, I just cut people off now. Where I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, okay, you don't really even exist anymore as far as I'm concerned. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, we're cool. I don't wish any harm on you. I'm just not rolling with you like that.
Yeah.
We're just not.
Time.
Yeah. And people aren't going to think the way you think. And that's the thing. I like, you know, you watch that Last Dance documentary. Those people aren't going to think the way Michael Jordan thinks. He's a killer. He's on a whole nother level of trying to do whatever he has to do at any cost to win that championship. And, you know, come along with me, and this is what we can do to win this championship. But if you're not going to operate at a high level, we're not going to win. And that's how I look at things. It's like, let's operate at a high level, especially at hair shows. I mean, the salon kind of takes care of itself now, but especially at hair shows, the dude I'm with, when we do shows together, I'm like, man, this is what we got to do. Let's go out and let's kill it. Let's crush it for this hour we're on stage. Let's focus. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's look at every aspect of this hair show and do what we got to do to sell products and walk out of here successful. And go back up to our rooms and chill out because it can get weird and I mean it can get dirty. It can get everybody. You know, people are at your throats and whatnot, and it's just like
There's a lot of people that want to be where you're at.
I'm like, I don't want no part of that, man. And you can, how come Bradley and Rocky don't come down to the bar and hang out? Because when we do, you're gonna say something about us, or if we do happen to say something stupid or do something stupid, you're gonna be the first one to go tell somebody.
Yeah.
Like I don't want no part of that.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be at my room by myself, go eat a steak at Ruth's Chris, and go back up and chill out.